Hello and welcome to the Voice Stand session number 3. Hello. Give me just a thumbs up or say yes. Just make sure that you can hear me all right here in the chat. Welcome everybody. It is great to have you along. Boy, it's been a busy day, huh? Voice stuff going all over the place with Alexa Live. So first of all, my name is Teri Fisher and welcome. If you are new to the Voice Den, as I asked last time, I want to know. So tell me that you are new. Type in yes, type in you are new, type in something like that. Tell me that you are new here, loud and clear. Everybody can hear. Good stuff. All right. In fact, even better, here's a little poll coming up for you right now. You'll see at the bottom of your screen. How many times have you been in the Voice Den? Let's have a look at that. All right, let's get some votes going here. First time, I love it. The first vote is a first timer. All right. Oh, second time. Third time. I love seeing this in real time. Look at this. First time, second. We got a bunch of second time timers here. Okay. Awesome. I love it. I'm new to the Voice Den, but I'm not new. Fair enough. Marketing. I don't know marketing what your first name is, but Brett, first time live. Dana, Angela. Oh, look at this. Second time. Congrats to all the new folks. This is a fast-paced, joyful hour. You got it, Ian. All right. A repeat offender. Michael is a repeat offender. That is very, very true. All right. Good stuff. Now, what I want to do before we go any further is I want to give a huge shout out, of course, to the sponsor of this show. This is sponsored by Amazon Alexa. Thank you very much to the whole Amazon Alexa team for making this accessible to everybody. So fantastic. I just hit my microphone. Hopefully that didn't all break your eardrums. All right. So fantastic. So thank you, Amazon Alexa. Speaking of Alexa, there was a little event today, wasn't there? We've got another poll for you right now. You ready for this one? Did you attend Alexa Live today? And let's make that one visible to you. Did you attend Alexa Live today? I want to know. Come on. Only one person voting so far. Come on. Did you attend Alexa Live today? That person said, 3 yes. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, here we go. Good. And here's a little known fact that one of the voicefluencers today, Jeff Blankenburg, who works for Amazon and was speaking, he is celebrating a birthday today. So keeping that in mind, here's the next question. Are you ready for it? The poll? Come on. Keep this in mind. It's Jeff's birthday. Who had the best presentation on Alexa Live today? All right, in the poll, come on. I want you to start voting for that. Jeff gets a vote. Yeah, Jeff gets a vote. Who else? Jeff. What do you know, Jeff? That's unbelievable. Jeff. One said I only paid attention to Jeff. I left after Jeff was done speaking. Jeff. Wow. All right, when we get you on here, you'll everybody hear some like shout outs, I think, for this, because boy, your value with Amazon just went way up through the roof. All right. So excellent. Really glad to have you all here. Now, we've got to do some introductions. This show is all about you, the participants, and coming on screen and interacting live with these voicefluencers. And we need to talk about who are the voicefluencers today. So I'm going to give you a quick little intro, and I'm going to try to keep this brief so that we can move on with the show, so that we can get them on screen here. All right. So first of all, we have got Rosie, the researcher, Dr. Joan Palmiter Bajorek, and you will know her as the CEO and founder of Women in Voice. So here's a little blurb about her. Here's a little blurb about her. Joan is the CEO and founder of Women in Voice, the nonprofit empowering women and gender diversity in voice tech. She's previously a senior conversational experience designer at Nuance and a principal user experience researcher at the University of Arizona, where she is currently the head of conversational research and strategy at Versa. She's an Alexa champion, a top 11 influencer of voice by VoiceBot.ai, WeWork Labs Entrepreneur in Residence, Executive of the Year finalist for the Project Voice Medal for Diversity and Inclusion, and Voice AI Pioneer of the Year. She is a leader in voice technology domestically and internationally. So, all right. It's a real pleasure to have Joan on here. Okay. Next, we've got Jeff, the birthday boy, a developer evangelist at Amazon Alexa. He spent the early part of his career in digital advertising, building websites for Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Ford Motor Company, among others. He spent 8 years at Microsoft, primarily as an evangelist for any new technology that he could get his hands on. Today, he works for Amazon, helping developers make Amazon even smarter, as you saw today. Jeff has spoken at conferences all over the world and online, covering topics ranging from software development techniques to soft skill techniques. He also serves as an organizer for the Stir Trek conference. Oh, and just as an aside here, if anybody in the chat is willing to come on live and sing happy birthday to Jeff, you let me know, because that's going to happen. All right. Okay. Next. Oh, and I'm so sorry. That was all with Joan's picture up. So there is Jeff. That was not Jeff, in case you were wondering. That was Joan. Here is Jeff. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. I needed that little prompt there. All right. Now, here we go. Next, we have Adam Cheyer. Adam is the co-founder of Siri and Viv Labs. Adam, this is a very interesting thing with Adam. You're going to learn about this in a little bit, but he's a magician, and he performed a trick on Penn and Teller's Fool Us TV show. You got to look it up. Very cool. He's helped start 4 successful companies. You may have heard of these: Siri, Viv Labs, which was sold to Samsung to build the new Bixby. He's a co-founder of Sentient and a founding member of Change.org, which is the world's largest petition platform with 350 million plus members. So it's great to have Adam here as well. All right. Ilarna Nche, and this is, she is a senior software engineer with Matchbox.io. And she's a singer. Maybe we should put her on the spot and get to sing. Okay, we'll see. She's an award-winning Alexa champion and Bixby premier developer. She's working as a senior software engineer at Matchbox.io. She has a huge portfolio of voice applications across Google, Bixby, and Alexa, and she's an expert and a thought leader in the voice and conversation design field. From both a development and design perspective. And Music Bop Adventures, which you may be familiar with, is one of her most popular applications, providing an engaging interactive experience for children. And then last but certainly not least, we have Kesha Williams, the champion. And this is interesting too. We'll get to that when she comes on. But she's an award-winning software engineer, a machine learning practitioner, and a training architect at a cloud guru with 25 years experience in IT. She's trained and mentored thousands of software developers in US, Europe, and Asia while teaching at the university level. She spoke about machine learning on the TED stage as a winner of TED Spotlight Presentation Academy. Her pioneering work in the field of artificial intelligence earned her the distinctions of Alexa Champion. There's a theme here. Alexa Champion and AWS Machine Learning Hero. In her spare time, she serves as a mentor to women in tech. So it is wonderful to have all of these wonderful voicefluencers with us today. I'm going to bring each one of them on just for a quick hello so that you can see who they are and they can say hello, and then we can get started with the program. So here's where you need to be a little bit patient. I have to invite them on, so let's do that. Let's see who's here. Well, let's start with we're going to bring Jeff on here, and we might as well invite a couple on at the same time to get things rolling here. All right. Okay, and there we go. So here's Jeff. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. So Jeff, just to kind of, well, here's the thing. You got to explain your name, and you got to explain what's going on behind you.
All right, my name is Jeff. It's the name I know that's not what you mean. So he asked for kind of a superhero-y kind of name, and I came up with the Purveyor of Pop. I was looking for a way to kind of incorporate the nonsense that's behind me, and you can see that I've got a whole collection of these toys sitting behind me. It's kind of the backdrop for all the Twitch streaming and everything else that I do. And as a matter of fact, they just put a bunch of exclusive ones on sale right now. And so while I'm talking to everyone, I may have a cart churning. So
we'll know what's happening. If you kind of look away or you're not totally paying attention, we excuse you. And it's your birthday, so you're allowed to do that.
Thank you.
It's all good. Joan, welcome. Welcome to the Voice Den. And what's the deal with your name? Rosie the Researcher.
Rosie the Researcher. Well, you were asking me for a alias persona. And I was looking for one that got the kind of technical creds. I'm a researcher and a linguist, but also kind of that personality and, the evangelism that I do. So Rosie the researcher, evokes Rosie the riveter, which I assume you all know, and just kind of keeping that strength up there.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, it's great to have you here as well.
Thanks.
Ilarna, what about you, Miss Prof?
Yeah, I dedicate that to my mum. She made me that as a child, Miss Prof, and I stick with it ever since. So I use it for everything, really.
Amazing. All right. Well, welcome. It's great to have you here as well. And what's the deal with your singing? Because in your special fact, you've performed. What's the deal with that?
So just to clarify, I don't sing. I'm not actually a good singer, but I did win a competition where I got to basically write a song, and I just happened to be on the track, and I got to perform alongside and open the stage with Sean Paul and Wiz Khalifa at this festival. So I don't sing at all, so I don't know how that happened, but
okay. All right.
I have a terrible singing voice, so sorry, Jeff.
Well, it's amazing to have you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Adam, welcome. You are the magician. What's the deal?
So I often say that a magician and an entrepreneur are exactly the same. They imagine an impossible future, and then they work backwards to make it come true, figuring out the math and science to make it real. So I think of myself as both an entrepreneur and a magician. So sounded like a better superhero name, the magician.
Amazing. And people should check out your stuff online because it's very cool. Kesha as well. Thank you for being here. And what's the deal with your name?
You can tell it's very original, very creative, and it's because I am an Alexa champion.
Amazing.
So that's the best that I could come up with. So
it's good. I love it. Everybody's got their own little reasons for picking up their names. I love it. There's been such a variety of names, and it's just I don't know. It's just another little fun thing. So, okay, amazing. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the Voice Den, I'll just give a quick little intro of how this is going to work. What you will see is down on the bottom. I see people that are veterans here already started getting going with this. You'll see it says "Ask a Question" at the bottom. If you click on that, you will see that there's a place for you to ask a question. Now, what you can do is you can direct a question towards a person. So if you want a particular person to answer your question, you simply type that person's name in and your question. Everybody else here in the Voice Den with us can go in, review those questions, and I encourage you to do this. Vote on the questions that you are interested in having answered. And what's going to happen is those are going to then sort of rise to the top, and we are going to bring you live on screen to talk with these voicefluencers. And maybe it's a general opinion, maybe it's some specific advice you want for a project you're working on. You control the conversation. This is all about you and what you want to learn from these experts that we have available to you. So that's the deal. The little bit of magic, shall we say, that's going to happen is there's a 5-minute timer. And so you get a maximum of 5 minutes to have this little conversation, and then you're done. All right. So let's get to this. Let's have a look at some of these questions, and we're going to see who we need to bring on screen to answer these questions. So the first, let's see. So this one's got 5 votes. This is from Emerson. And Emerson says, what new revelation was everyone most excited about from today's Alexa Live? Okay, so I'm going to probably leave Jeff out of this one because he was part of it. And Kesha, can I keep you in on this one? Were you able to see Alexa Live today? And
sure.
Okay, amazing. So let's keep you, Kesha. Adam, I'm going to bring up somebody else for this one. Let's go to who else was Ilarna. Let's see if we can bring you up as well. So let me bring you back up. This is where I have to do a little bit of juggling. So you just got to bear with me a little bit here. Here we go. And then Emerson, I got to bring you up because you're having the discussion. I should have done that first. All right, Emerson, I'm going to bring you up here. So you're going to get an invitation. So come on screen here, Emerson. And then we'll be good to go here in just a sec. We're just going to wait for Emerson to come on back on. Let's make sure that he's connecting here. Yeah, it shows he's connecting. All right. And then we're going to set the timer here. So, okay.
There I am. Hello.
Hello there. How's it going?
It is going very well. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic. Emerson, just before I start the timer, you get a few free seconds to say hi and just sort of introduce yourself and sort of set the context before we get into your question.
Sure. So I'm Emerson Sklar. I'm the chief evangelist of Bespoken, which is the company that does automated testing and tuning and monitoring for conversational AI applications. So the question was, what new revelation was everybody most excited about? I'll say one of mine. I have two in particular. The one that I will start out with is the compositing of multiple audio sources directly in Alexa Skills. We actually we developed at our company a sort of novel way to do it to solve a different problem. But it's amazing to see it actually built in for interactive audio content, for games, for storytelling. There's so many, I think I think it will have an immediate, really drastic impact on people's experience. So
Sure.
Very curious to hear what you guys were excited about.
Sure. Go ahead. Who would like to start? Ladies. Go ahead. Kesha, you're up there.
Sure. So I am just super excited about the Alexa conversations. And I got wind of this maybe at the end of last year, but it sounds like today it's actually in public beta. And just the thought of just making the conversation with Alexa seem like you're having a conversation with a real person and just making that dialogue flow. That's always been something that I've wanted to do. And I'm also super excited about the competition. So there's like this contest where specifically for Alexa conversations where you can win money. So like that's a no-brainer. So I will definitely be entering that competition.
And do you already have an idea of what you're going to do that utilize it?
Not yet. Not yet. But I'll be winning some money soon. So
There we go. Confidence out of Kesha. All right. Awesome. Ilarna, what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, first of all, from a developer and a consumer perspective, there's so many features that I'm excited about, especially with the conversations where I think will be a very seamless experience for the user. And also from the audio APLA, which to me is something that has been something I've been waiting for the longest of time, especially in games and I guess wellness skills as well, where you can combine the two. Layer audio is definitely something that it will be a game changer for the user. So those two definitely, and I think quick links as well. That I feel will be the new way to enhance a skill and to launch it. So definitely those three.
Yeah, Mark, who was on here earlier, had some tests of it earlier today. Seem to have identified maybe a limitation or a bug. Who knows? But yeah, awesome feature.
Cool.
Doctor?
Any other comments, or you're asking me as well? I'm trying to stay out of this. This is all about the Voicefluencers. Oh, you want my opinion as well? You know what struck me? It's just how much overall, just the breadth of what was announced all in one day. It just goes to show how much work is going on behind the scenes. And then in a day like this, when they just announce everything, it's just like, it's hard to keep up with everything. I saw some developers commenting and tweeting like, it's hard to even know where to go first now. There's so much to dive into and unpack. So it'll be interesting to see over the next 6 months kind of how people take advantage of all the different things and how they can layer the different pieces on top of each other. That's kind of something that just sort of struck me. Yeah,
definitely. And I also think that with the different third-party software tools and frameworks like Jovo and Project, what's the other one that they have? I can't remember. I've just skipped to my mind at the moment. But how they'll also integrate these features very quickly, and I guess everyone wants to use them now. So it'll be interesting to see that.
Amazing. Anything else, Emerson? Otherwise, we can then move on. Any other comments from anybody here on the screen? Awesome. Well, thanks so much for that question, and thank you for the answers, both of you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
Wonderful.
It's good to see you guys.
All right, you too. All right. So, we beat the buzzer on that one. All right, very cool. Now let's see what we've got going on here in the questions now. So we've got here, can Jeff do a ping pong ball trick live? Jeff, if you want to just give us a quick comment in the sidebar there, if you're able to do a trick for us live, because then we'll bring you on to do a trick. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next one. Let's see. The next one is Adam, what is needed for voice and digital assistants to reach the next 10 levels? When might this happen? Okay, that's a great question. So let's, I'm going to invite Derek on screen here. So you're going to see notification. We're going to bring, so I'm going to say goodbye to you two for now, and then we'll get you back here shortly. Okay, and I'm going to invite Adam back on. This is the juggling act again. So there we go. I need to get Adam on here.
While you're doing that, I just want to say thank you for putting all of this together. I just found out about this VoiceDen thing like half an hour ago, and I just found out that Adam existed like an hour ago, and now I get to talk to him. It's amazing.
Oh, right.
How this comes together.
I love hearing that, because that is exactly what this this format is all about, is being able to speak with the people that you know that you're following or that you hear about, and you want to have an opportunity to chat with them. So that really means a lot. I really appreciate that feedback. So thank you very, very much for that. I'm going to bring Jeff on as well. And the two of you hopefully can give us some insight into this. So before we start the timer here, Derek, why don't you just give us a little bit of a context in terms of who you are, and then we can start with the conversation.
Sure, no problem. So yeah, I'm actually an AI researcher working mostly in dialogue and natural language understanding. So I'm probably going to be a little bit more technical than most members. And that's kind of where my question comes from, right? Like, what kind of technical maybe research advances do you feel like is necessary to get us to that next level? But I'm also willing to entertain any kind of thoughts about maybe the right answer is more about marketing or something else. Really, you guys are the voice influencers. So I'm just curious to hear what you guys have to think.
Good. Fire away. Adam, do you want to take a stab at that first then?
Sure. So the question's how to get more users, right? How to take it
no. So it's like, we know that right now there's a lot of people using Alexa and Siri and Bixby and things like that, but people usually have these like, maybe minimal conversations. How do we get something to where people have it as an integrated part of their lives? Really, that next level. What I'm thinking is the thing that you dreamed about when you started, Siri and things of that nature. Like, what has to happen to get to that next level?
Yeah, so I've said that my goal with Siri, with VivLabs, and everything I've done for the last 27 years has been to make the voice or conversational assistant as important as the web and mobile.
Right,
so
right.
It's not the case today, and there's a number of reasons why. So the first and biggest problem to solve is that users hate to feel stupid. And right now, the boundaries of what's in scope and what's out of scope are, really, you can't tell it. It's very obtuse. So the difference between what's the weather tomorrow and how many hairs are there on the leg of a grasshopper, to the user, they're both good questions. One might be in scope, one might be not out of scope. So I think there are user experience techniques that can be applied to help discovery in new ways that bridge from a novice user who doesn't know anything about the assistant and what it can do to the expert who knows a lot, and everywhere in between. And voice is an expert modality. It works great. Right. There's no faster way to achieve it than, if you say, what's the weather tomorrow afternoon, blah, 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 boom. But if you don't know it's going to achieve it, and you launch a question and it could fail, boy, it's not a great experience. People will shrink and only do a couple of things. So I would say discovery of the in scope and out of scope, especially when you have an open ecosystem, it's the most important problem to solve. So,
okay. And to parlay off of that, I think one of the big things that I really focus on, there's two things that I find really important. I am not a researcher. I'm not an AI scientist. But I spend a lot of time thinking about exactly this question, right? How do we get towards at least on the Alexa side, our vision is the Star Trek computer, right? It's not a specific set of voice commands that they can use that say like, well, if I say it this way, I'll get to know the diagnostics on this engine or whatever, right? They just ask what they want and they get the information they need. And I think that as he mentioned, the expert and the beginner users, I think the model that we need to focus on, the thing that we need to pay the most attention to, are those beginner users, because that's what voice is meant to be, right? Voice is meant to be, I say the thing that I want to say the way I want to say it, and I want a relevant answer to that query, whatever it might be. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's the grasshopper's leg, but maybe it's also turning off the light in the room, right? And even little things like that are still a bit of a challenge. If I name the lamp in my family room lamp, and I'm in my bedroom and I say turn off the lamp, it still doesn't really know that I mean the lamp in the room I'm in, right? It thinks I'm talking about the lamp downstairs because that's the one that I actually named lamp. So those kinds of things I think are a big part of how we do this. But the other big piece for me is the idea of a universal context model for each user. Think about all the things that you know that kind of make you up. I don't mean your decision-making engine, but think about like all the stuff that is about you. The example I always like to give for people is imagine saying, or not even saying, but having your device say to you, hey, you have a dentist appointment next Tuesday. This is one of my favorite examples because as you think through the things that have to happen there, it's immense, right? That means the system has to know that it's time to look for a dentist appointment. It has to know who your dentist is. It has to know who your insurance company is. It has to validate with your insurance company that it's time to get a dental appointment. There's a number of things that all come into play there just so that you can get the simple response like, hey, you have a dental appointment next Tuesday, right? So those kinds of things, that big contextual module that plugs in, there's obviously a ton of security and privacy concerns that come along with that. But I think that if we can find a comfortable balance between those two, I think that the sky's the limit.
Okay, thank you so much.
Amazing. Any other comments from you, Adam or Jeff?
The other thing I want is a single assistant. Today, when you have to use the name dispatch and you get 100,000 different interactions, it's too hard for a user to know. I want it to feel like one assistant that I can say, do this, and the right thing happens.
Agreed.
Awesome. Great. Okay. There we go. Well, Derek, thank you so much for coming on for your question. I appreciate that. Thanks for your kind words. And I hope that was helpful to you. All right.
It was. Thank you.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So let's have a look here. We've got Ian with a question. Are you more passionate about voice tech as it is today or what you envision will develop in the future and why? Okay. So Ian, we're going to bring you on for that question. I think that's a great one. And I think I'm going to keep you on for this one, Adam, and I'm going to bring Joan on for this one as well. So Jeff, we'll see you in a bit. All right. So here we go. Joan, I'm just going to invite you on as well. All right. So Ian, welcome.
Happy Wednesday.
All right. For the few that don't know you, maybe just a quick introduction while Joan's coming on screen here.
Well, I live in a treehouse. I have two little boys. They're 11 and 7. And we enjoy the Aptos Forest. And I think Adam gave one of the greatest explanations of all time of an entrepreneur earlier. And I love being here with all of you. It is amazing that I get to be a part of this community. So Teri, thank you for making a way for me to do that.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you. So let's get to your question. I'm going to reset the timer here. So let's do that. Give me 1 sec to do that. And there we are.
Are you wearing the glasses and shades or the glasses and hat? Everyone's got their swag today. Look at this.
There we go. Everybody's showing off their mugs. Come on. There we go.
I'm just a big billboard right now.
Oh, that's funny. All right, you ready for the question? We got to start the timer here. We got to stop wasting time. All right, here we go. Go. Do we know the question?
I asked a couple, but I'm guessing it's about the future. So my question to the panelists was, are you most excited about the tech today, or are you constantly drawn to the tech of next year or 25 years from now? And why is it that you feel your focus is drawn to what you're working on now, or that you're pulled consistently to what you want to have happen?
Joan?
Well, my colleague uses the expression, the Alexa right now is the AOL of today. So I think in that respect, thank you to the Alexa team, doing amazing work, obviously, just as AOL broke huge barriers. Not to say anything else, but I think what we're going to see in the next 2 to 5, excuse me, the neighbors just decided to come out and play. In the next 2 to 5, I think we're going to see some huge advances, but that builds with blocks. I mean, we don't just see it overnight. As we've seen work in this field since the 80s, really. Yeah.
Any Adam, anything to add?
Yeah, I kind of answered it with my entrepreneur quote. I'm always dreaming about that impossible future, and I'm going after it with full gusto. I'm really so proud to watch the voice community emerge. I mean, we've come a long way to this point, and there are things that happen today that, you know, we wouldn't have believed, you know, that could have happened 10, 15 years ago. So don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing anything about how far we've come, but man, I yearn with every fiber in my being to make the voice assistant important, really important. And it just isn't yet. I mean, it's a utility. There are billions of queries that flow through assistants every day, right? So it's not negligible. And people have written to me to say it has transformed their lives. You know, if you're paralyzed, if you're autistic, there are many, you know, if you're have visually impaired. So voice assistance is important for some people, but man, I think it could be so much more. And the biggest thing is we need to make the voice assistant useful for pretty much everything you want to do on the web, everything you want to do on mobile. So web and mobile are paradigms of global scale that have transformed every connected user and every connected business. And today, unfortunately, we're not at that level yet. I'm impressed with where we are. And I do think, to echo Joan, we're not far. We're right on the cusp of a huge change. But there are a few fundamental things that need to be solved to get us there. Discovery is one of them, and there are a few more.
Yeah.
I asked another question about what the panel might do if they were given a $100 million grant. I want to make it so big that it allowed expansive thinking. If you're given a $100 million grant, no strings attached, the only request from the philanthropist is you take the $100 million and you develop voice tech that's good for all of humanity. Where might you put your focus if you were given those resources with that type of mandate?
Cool. Good question.
I wouldn't do anything different than I've been trying to do now with Samsung and Bixby, which is to get an assistant that is truly built on an open ecosystem, that is scalable in a marketplace-like way, that the market maker does not have control about which service gets picked. If I say, what's the weather or what have you, it's the user who gets to pick that. And I think we need to create that scalable, open, equitable ecosystem. And if we can do that, all the world's developers will do the rest, right? So I can't, even with 100 million, I can't compete and build every service in the world. I have to enable them to build the world's best assistant.
Yeah. Joan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I was going to make a joke that I'm already building a scalable ecosystem. No, I mean, women in voice, of course, I would double down in the way when we are democratizing who builders are and can be. We're seeing lots of different ideas. And I think especially, we have 13 chapters in 8 countries today, and we're less than 2 years old. Like I've teased the Alexa team, like I'm going to know about the next cool startup in Pakistan before you do. Right? Like I think really thinking about who different builders from different language backgrounds. We just launched Women in Voice Brazil, which I'm really, really excited about, but it's just who will be building those things of the future. Yeah. And I'm very excited to see people all around the world doing it.
Amazing. Great question, so Ian. Thank you, Ian. Thank you to both of you, Adam and Joan. That's great. Let's have a look at the next question. We've got Saeed with a question about how to design engaging conversations for voice. Oh, okay. So we're going to bring on a couple of, developers, Ilarna and Kesha. I think we should bring the 2 of you back on. So let's invite Saeed off. Thank you, Adam and Joan, for a bit here. And we're going to do a little juggling here again. All right. So Kesha, there's your invitation. And Ilarna, let's bring that. Okay. All right, very good. Whoa, halfway through the show already. All right, time is flying. Let's see how many more we can get in here. Okay, cool. Saeed, welcome.
Hello. Hi again.
Yes, I think you're the first. No, maybe you are the first person to be on twice. I'm not sure. Anyway, welcome again. Take a few seconds, just introduce yourself again, and then we'll get your question answered by these two experts here on developing.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Syed, and I have been working in the voice space for the past 5 years, mostly with Alexa in the past. I'm also a cloud solutions architect in my full-time role. Voice is my passion. Voice is my hobby right now, and also been working with Alexa for so long, and now starting to explore Google Actions and Bixby and all of the other cool stuff. So thank you so much for having me. And Kesha, just a shout out to you. Thank you so much for helping me pass my Alexa certified on the A Cloud Guru. So
congratulations.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wonderful. So the question, as it was written, how to design engaging conversations for voice and different perspectives from the different platforms would be great. So Ilarna, you wanna start with that?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing I would do is identify the platforms you're working on, which you said was Alexa, Google, and Samsung, and identify that they're all quite similar but quite different. So Samsung being mostly on a phone at the moment, they have obviously targeted with multimodal, and then you've got Alexa, which is slowly creeping into even the car and everywhere with the Echo Loop and all that. So I'd say identify the platforms, because everyone will interact differently depending on what device they're using. And then I'd say a key point is to look at the market, look what's out there already, look what's saturated, look what isn't, look what is needed. And then from there, concentrate on the content you can provide, concentrate on how you can market that as well. And if you specialize in developing and if you don't have that skill in UI or UX, then definitely hire someone or partner up with someone who has that experience, because you'll see that is the key when it comes to creating a great user journey. Because obviously we can't get away with in voice with having a web journey similar to a voice journey. They're completely different, and that's why there's a different audience and different demographic to all of the platforms. So I definitely say that is a key when it comes to developing experiences.
very insightful.
So I think it's my turn. I can only speak to Alexa. I'm sorry, I don't care for the other platforms. So I can speak to how I approach building like engaging conversations and skills for Alexa. So one, I always try in my skills to personalize the user experience. So like the skill will say the person's name if they've allowed Alexa access to that. I try to add personality using SSML. So with like the pitch and the voice and the pace, just trying to make the experience as engaging as possible, remembering the context. And I also like to what I call gamify my skills. I find that those skills are the most engaging. So for example, one of my skills, I've integrated it with the Game On leaderboard. So people can see how they rank or rate themselves against others. And that really just draws in more people, and it just brings out the competitive nature that a lot of people have. And so those are just a few tips to build just engaging voice experiences.
Amazing.
Wow. That is amazing. Personalization. I love it.
Any follow-up comments or questions about that at all, or comments from either of you?
Just one.
Yeah. Which platform do you? I know you said you were doing Alexa. Which have you tried to take some of your Alexa skills onto other platforms? Are you starting fresh or?
So I have built a couple of Google Actions, but of course, Actions, it's pretty nascent. Alexa has the best platform. So I'm Team Alexa, right? So I have the most fun working on Alexa skills because of the ecosystem, because of the community support, because of the documentation and all that. but it would not be fair of me to comment on other platforms because I have just started with Bixby, and that too I saw some of your posts and on the capsules, how to make them, the tutorials, and I just got so impressed. I said, I'm going to do this. But just one follow-up question for you, Ilarna, is you yourself came from the Alexa background and now onto Bixby. So what difference do you see? Are the tools developer friendly enough? Is there enough incentive for the developer to start looking into this platform? I know Adam is there somewhere, but I want to ask this with you because you have been building on that platform and consistently.
Yeah, I'll say that obviously starting on Alexa was great. Like you said, the support and the documentation was there. But moving on to Bixby, you have to kind of separate. If you're going from the native SDK with the Bixby SDK, then you have to separate yourself and not think about Alexa development in that way because they're so different. Bixby's more like model focused. But yeah, like I say, you've got Jovo, as I keep shouting out, because they allow for cross-platforming. So if you want to do that, I'd say check that out and then you can code for all of them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all your insightful answers. Love being here. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Great to have you on again, Steve. Thank you for joining us. All right. Wonderful. Let's move along. Next question. What is holding back voice tech from becoming truly mainstream? Okay, so I'm going to bring back Joan and Jeff for this one. So we'll see you two in a little bit. And I need to bring up, I'm not sure who asked this question, JS. So I'm going to invite JS, whoever you are, come on screen. And I'm also going to invite Joan and Jeff back on. So here we go. All right. Joan and Jeff. All right. There's Joan. And hello again.
Hey.
And it shows that everybody else is connecting. Okay. And there's Jeff.
Hello, hello.
And here is our mystery person. Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Who are you?
I'm not so mysterious. I'm Jenny. I'm Jenny Steenhouse. I'm from New Zealand, and I happen to be the COO of Women in Voice. So hi, Joan. Hi, Jeff.
Wonderful.
Hello.
Wonderful to have you on.
Thank you.
That is so great to have you on. So is there any more context you can give us before we start the timer in terms of what you do?
Oh, so I help with all Women in Voice stuff, from talking to chapters to organizing strategy. I also have my own small studio called Talking Tools based here in New Zealand, and I am exploring voice forward experiences on a range of platforms from Alexa to Bixby and everything in between. I asked the question, what will really make voice become mainstream? And I see there's lots of discussion about, like, is the privacy issue the thing that's holding us back, or what's going to make people go out and get devices to use specific skills? So I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that.
Sure. Who'd like to take that first? Joan, do you want to take that?
Sure. What will take voice mainstream? Well, I think related to Adam's comment about, being able to do lots of things with voice, I feel like right now there's so many seeming limitations that you have to be clicking stuff or typing things in. I would also say kind of language support. If your language isn't supported, goodness only knows that's a serious problem. Even think that language is supported right, or as a linguist right now, it's not an easy problem. I'm not saying it like lickety split, but I think really having that be a seamless and frictionless experience will help it become more and more normalized.
Great. Jeff, thoughts?
Yeah, so it's hard because I feel like if we're asking the general question, when will voice be mainstream? From a very pedantic perspective, I want to say that it is mainstream. I mean, when you look at the number of people that use voice, even casually in some way on their phone, or they have a device in their house, I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of people around the world using it. And certainly, as Joan mentioned, there are pockets of languages that aren't supported and pockets of accessibility issues that exist for people maybe that can't speak very well or things like that. So I think in general, I think that we have hit mainstream. I think the idea, and I think what they're really asking with this question is, how do we get people to do more than ask for a song or a joke, right? How do we get them to lean into all of the other possible experiences that are out there? And part of me has been screaming for years that there just needs to be one good ad campaign that just shows people like you guys remember, I mean, iPhone did it, right? There's an app for that. And all of a sudden people are always like, oh my gosh, my phone can do anything? Like, that's amazing. And then there was this explosion. And I think that there needs to be something like that to let people know that, by the way, did you know you can get an Uber and order a pizza and do this? Like, all of these things just while walking through your house. The number of people, like family members, neighbors, things like that, they know I work for Alexa, but they don't really know what that means. And they're like, well, you know, I use Alexa. It's a great speaker. I use it to listen to music, whatever. But I was like, have you tried routines? And they're like, well, what's that? And I said, well, when I say good night to my device, it turns all my first floor lights off. It closes my garage door. It locks my front door. It turns the fan on in my bedroom. And it turns the light on in my bedroom so I can find my way up the stairs because all the lights on the first floor turned off. So that blows their minds. And it's something that's been around for a couple of years, right? So I think part of it is an awareness issue. But I also think that there are many, many other things that we could be doing with voice that we're just not. And it all goes back to what I answered earlier, right? The idea that people should be able to say what they want and it should happen. And as long as it's possible, we should try to find a way to enable and make those things happen. So that's my short answer to that.
Awesome. Can I be cheeky and jump in with a little more on that?
Sure.
Do you think that there will be a time in, say, like the next 2 years where speaking to devices in public spaces becomes the norm?
I'll jump on that quickly. I think the voice in public spaces is not an issue of capabilities. I think it's a social construct. Because there are things that you can talk to now, right? There's mall kiosks and some other things. And even when you're in a public place, very often I will see people pull their phone out and type something in rather than ask Siri or Google Assistant, like, hey, what's this information? In fact, I was camping with my friends this weekend, and my friend kept doing that, and I thought it was weird. Like, because, you know, when you're sitting around with friends and you have an argument or a disagreement about something and we don't know the answer, you type it into your phone and you look up the answer because you can't be wrong. And he did that a lot where he would just ask his phone audibly, and it felt like a weird social exchange to have him talking to this other device while we're all talking. So I think it's more social acceptance than it is necessarily a needed behavior.
Yeah. Well, I can't stand when people are like speak texting, like, and this, that, and like, you could just be voice, like you could be voice typing. I don't know why you're doing both right now. Like highly, highly inefficient material. And I think, remember what mobile, we were like mobile and there are apps on it, like how clunky. I really think that'll be changing. Thanks for joining us, Jenny.
Thanks guys, bye.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us. Fantastic. Great question. Okay, I want to encourage everybody to take a moment and quickly look at the questions and vote, because I think we have enough time for probably one more question, and let's just see what everybody wants to hear about. This has been some great discussion. This happens every time. The time just flies by. And one of the things I'm going to be asking for when we're done is I will ask for some feedback. One of the things that I'd love to get your impression on is this enough time? Do we want to keep it nice and short, or do we want to have these longer sessions? And I'm happy, and I'll tell you how you can provide some feedback at that point. For now, looks like, this is taken off. It's Ian's question is in the lead here by a lot. So, okay, Ian, I'm going to bring you back on screen here. It's a great question. I actually like Mark's as well. Ooh. Okay, we might incorporate a little bit of Mark's question in this as well if we get time, because Ian's been on here, and I'd love to get some of Mark's question in there too. So, Ian, come on. I'm going to keep Joan on for this one, and I'd love to bring Kesha back on for this one as well. So, Jeff, see you in a bit. So, Kesha, I'm going to invite you back on here. Here we go. All right. So good. We're just waiting for Kesha to come up. So, Ian, your question is a great one. Do you want to just go ahead and ask it, or do you want me to read it out? It's up to you.
Help me.
Help you.
Help me.
All right.
And help Ian, everybody else that would be, they're hiring people. We're building tech. We're a male executive. I know for sure, no matter how many times we hear things about diversity or women in tech, and I acknowledge, I think the voice tech space is doing as good of a job in this area as any I've seen. Nevertheless, there's definitely blind spots that I have. There's blind spots that everybody else has. And one of my questions is, what are the blind spots in your opinion, whether they've been said 1,000 times or it's just something buried in your heart? And are those blind spots something that you feel it is male executives have, or do you think it's a blind spot that just kind of goes throughout everybody? It doesn't matter their gender or, their diversity. So that was my question was, can you help me and our peers be more empathetic and create an even better environment as we move forward together?
Kesha, you want to take that first?
Yeah, that's a huge question. So let's see. When I think about this question, and I think about the tech industry in general, so there is a diversity problem in the bigger tech industry, and voice is really no different. And what I've seen that I appreciate your question. There are a lot of executives that just don't really understand that the lack of diversity is truly an issue. And so I think, especially in the machine learning space, where we've seen all of these horror stories about these systems because there is a lack of diversity or biased data. I think just showing like how diversity can improve the bottom line, how it helps you actually produce better systems, especially in the AI ML space. I think that is what we need to do to really help educate people at that executive level. So that's my first thought.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, and they've run studies on this, and actually diverse teams outperform homogenous teams every time you run it. And that's diversity of thought, that's different abilities, that's people from different backgrounds. That's always that person being like, excuse me, that would never work for my niece, right? It is all those different thought processes. I think there is more and more, I'm seeing engagement people who see their executives or whatnot, they see they have power to make changes. Actually, there are two hiring managers last year that pinged me. They're like, oh, I just realized all my candidates for this job are men. Like, what do I do? Oh, goodness. And I think maybe it was almost too late or all male, but I think knowing that you have agency to help and to change, I certainly leverage my power to say, I'm really excited about this conference. Who else is going to be on the panel? Like, I'm really excited to see who else gets to be spotlit, who else gets a voice at the table. And that's same in my teams, obviously Women in Voice. We support women specifically, but really thinking about at Versa, who's on the decision table, who is building, who are we working with, and who not only are we hiring, but also retaining, the people who are leaving and who aren't being heard, for example.
If I were to respond and say that the things that the two of you just said, I have heard, I'd like to believe that I accept that, I believe that, and I've even made decisions to do things because of it. I think one of my questions is, are there things that you feel you either don't say or you're exhausted of saying because nobody actually listens? Or is there anything that can be done? Like, Ian, if you would do this action, it's a blind spot that you hear us, that you agree, but there's something missing in the action. Because what I'm really trying to dig for myself and everybody else that's here live and that may tune into an archive of this, is the invitation to confront us and to say, this is a real blind spot because you guys go from A to, M, but you're not taking it to Z. And the blind spot is that you're only going halfway to actually creating an environment that would be better for the bottom line, the top line, the environment, all the things that you've said.
I would say really learn more about your own personal biases or the unconscious bias that you may have toward other people. Sometimes it's hard to recognize in yourself where you may be biased. So there maybe there's training out there that can help you uncover that, but really just understand within yourself what your biases may be and how that affects the decisions that you make.
Wonderful. That's this is thanks for bringing that up, Ian. It's such a important discussion, and this is one of those ones where I think I saw the comment on the side, like you really need hours to tackle this issue. So to force everybody to do this in 5 minutes is probably almost cruel. So anyway, thank you for doing the best that you can under the time constraints here. And Ian, thanks for bringing that question up because it's so important. Wonderful. Okay. Wow. We've got 5 minutes till the hour here. And so thank you, Joan. Thank you, Kesha, for participating in that question. I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And we've got a couple of announcements here to make. Before we get to the winners of the Voicefluencer cards, which I'm gonna say bye to you for now for a second. I'm gonna bring you up in just a minute again. Okay. I want to first just introduce to you the Voicefluencers for session 4, which is going to be happening on August 26th. So here's a short little video to introduce you to the next set of Voicefluencers. There you go. What a great lineup. So excited about those 5 people coming on as well. So I hope you will join us August 26th for that. Now, before we wrap up, let me bring Ian back on one more time. So Ian, here comes your invitation. All right. Just looking at that comment there from Michael. Must be a mistake. Mark, what has he ever done? Mark, what has Mark ever done? And Mark's only the most generous guy with his knowledge out there. Boy. All right. So Ian, we're good. We have some business to take care of.
We do.
We have some winners to announce of the Voicefluencer collectible cards. Before we get to the winners, maybe I can get you just to, for those that maybe aren't familiar with the contest or are new here, just what the deal is with these, and then I can get to announcing some of the winners.
Absolutely. So Teri created some collector cards, and kind of like, a sports card. And the one thing led to another. And we applied some of the things that I've learned from my friends at Dapper Labs when they launched CryptoKitties, and how they created these collectibles that were built on the blockchains. That's what we did. We took these cards, we put them on there. It gives us a lot of opportunity as we think of fun ways to use these cards in the future. They are all one-of-one collectibles. So there are 29 one-of-one versions of each card, and we're giving a bunch of cards away to the winners. Lots of people entered this contest, and in the future, we will roll out different ways of using the cards and gamifying the whole thing. So our first step was just to get cards in the hands of the Voicefluencers, give them enough so they can even give some away to others, and then get a bunch of cards into the hands of those that entered the contest. And so this is just a really fun way that we have brought a couple different technologies and a couple different industries together to collaborate. So Teri, thank you so much for making this possible. I think it's going to be something we will all look back at and remember as a really fun thing that allowed us to interact in a new way.
Fantastic, Ian. Thank you. And I should say, I mean, the reason that I'm partnering with Ian is because Ian has this ability, his talent is to really bring the voice technology side of things together with the blockchain, NFT. And so when I was speaking with him about these cards, we decided, well, we're using the same type of token system, if you will, NFT system that he uses with the product that he's producing with Attention Live. So it was just a perfect match, and it's amazing the way these things come together. So Ian, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to say goodbye so I can use this part of the screen now and show people the winners. Okay. So thank you, Ian.
Okay.
And here we go. Let's get to the winners. Okay. So here we are, folks, ready to announce the winners. So as you may know, there are going to be 3 grand prize winners. We've got a real first grand prize winner. We've got a second place winner, and we have a third place winner. And then we have 50 more winners, numbered from, I guess, 4th to 54th. The first place winner is going to get one of every single card that you see on the screen. The second place winner is going to get to choose which set they want from session 1 or from session 2 or session 3. And then the third place winner is going to get the other 5. And then the other 50 winners are each going to get 2 random cards, one from session 2, one from session 3. And so let's get to it. Going backwards in order, starting from, I guess, 54 and working our way up. These are the people that came in the 34th to 53rd place. So I'll leave those up just for a couple of seconds. Just so you know, if you are a winner, you will be getting an email. And that email is going to be your link to claim your Voicefluencer collectible NFT card. All right. And you'll probably get them in multiple emails. So if you get 2 cards, you're going to get 2 emails, etc. Here are the winners in place 14 to 33. 14 to 33. Do the cards come with bubblegum? Yeah, in the blockchain world. Virtual bubblegum, Mike. All right. And let's go. Here we go. Now, the top 10 just outside of the top 3, if I can put it that way. I gotta think of a better way of saying that. Here we are. So we've got Lance, Liz, Dana, Martin, Chris, Christian, Saeed, Ted, Arpit, and Gunnar. These are the 4th through 13th winners. And now let's get to the big winners. In 3rd place, who is going to get 5 of these collectible cards, it is Jesus Camizo. All right. Here we go. 2nd place. In 2nd place, who is going to get to choose which set they want. You may know this man from Alexa Live today and his puppet Rex. Greg Bolmish, way to go. And number one. I'm just looking at the comments here. Greg, no. All right. And in 1st place, you ready for this? And it is Emerson, who joined us live today. Amazing. Way to go, Emerson. So Emerson is going to get the whole collection of the 10 cards, these 10 Voicefluencer cards. And so he's got a big collection now, people. You're going to have to start trading with him or trying to negotiate with him. How are you going to get some of these cards out of his hand? Because these are his now. There you go. And what I want to say is we've got the next round of cards being given away. You'll see a link at the bottom of the screen. Let me show that. That takes you to the next giveaway. As well, I will put the link just in the side here. That takes you to the, oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. That was supposed to be my little short link to pull it up. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, NFT. There it is. And so that is that's now live. The next session is available for you to enter. So there we go. Wonderful. This has been so much fun. Thank you again to the Voicefluencers for coming on. Big thank you to all 5 of you for spending some of your time with us today. Joan, Jeff, make sure I cover everybody. Adam, Ilarna, and Kesha, amazing discussion. Thank you so much. Big thank you to Amazon for sponsoring this event and making it accessible to everybody. Lots of great stuff here. Also, I want to let you know that we, due to a suggestion in the last session, we now have a Discord channel if you want to join that. And there is the Discord channel. And, oh yes, there's a special code that you get for being here today that you can use to give you a head start on winning some of the Voicefluencer cards for the next session. And that code, I'm going to put it in the text there. It is August 26, capitals, no space. That is the special code that you need to get some extra points. And that's your bonus for being here. So thank you so much. I want to make sure I've covered it. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to you for being part of this and supporting this event. It is wonderful to have you all here. So I'm going to sign off with a couple of credits, and I will see you again August 26th. Bye.